Hello folks, this is Andrew Carter with the News and Observer alongside my colleague Laura Keeley, coming at you live at the Smith Center, where North Carolina has not won back-to-back games, Laura, against Duke since the 1990s.
It's a nice historical note, Andrew. I'm not entirely sure it'll be very relevant to our game tomorrow, but, you know, history is intriguing.
One of those interesting little tidbits going back to 1997-98 for the last time you can find. Back-to-back UNC victories. Actually, that was a 7-game win streak. Since then, UNC is 6-10. Versus Duke in this building. Close game in Cameron Indoor Stadium a couple weeks back, 92-90. Duke
overtime.
Victory in overtime at Cameron. Loud night there, a great game. Fun game to watch. One of college basketball's better games in this ugly, low-scoring, slow-tempo season. But what did we learn about these teams? What did we learn specifically about Duke that night?
Duke actually looks a little bit different than they did to start that game about 2 weeks ago. Since then, they've gone with Matt Jones more in the starting lineup in place of Emil Jefferson, moves Justice Winslow to the 4, and they feel it gives them more flexibility on the defensive end because they can switch better at positions 1 through 4. And so you've seen Duke defend pretty well since then, the kind of the one-off thing at Virginia Tech notwithstanding. But yeah, you know, I think Duke solidified the idea that they had showed early in the season that they play their best in big moments. You know, you saw that against UNC, erasing the 7-point deficit in about 90 seconds. You saw that, you know, at Virginia Tech, which would have, you know, been a very damaging loss to their NCAA, you know, 1-seed hopes. And, you know, it's been, at this point, a while since Duke has lost. So they're just kind of chugging along and doing their thing.
UNC is not a whole lot different than when it played Duke that night, I don't think. The interesting thing for UNC is it's been such a 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of team all year. That Duke game was really one of its best games all season. It followed that up with a dominant victory against Georgia Tech. And then the Tar Heels come out and lay the eggiest of eggs against NC State, just a really ugly, sloppy loss. They respond with 2 straight victories at Miami, at Georgia Tech, coming off another dominant victory against Georgia Tech.
You know, if UNC could play Georgia Tech every game, I think they'd win the national championship.
They might. They've beaten those guys by 29 and 32 points. But we have seen some guys kind of step up and emerge for UNC. Joel Berry is starting to look healthy, which he has not been all season. He missed 8 games, of course, with a groin injury. He was sick for 1 game. Justin Jackson played well against Georgia Tech. Bryce Johnson, we've seen the good Bryce Johnson and the bad Bryce Johnson the past 2 games. Which one is going to show up on Saturday? Always an intriguing drama for the Tar Heels. But the big key for UNC, as always, is Bryce Johnson.
Yes.
The good Bryce Johnson, the bad one. And whether their role players can continue to play at a high level. Guys like Barry Jackson are starting to take steps forward, and UNC has to have those guys if it's going to reach its potential.
And they did in Cameron. I thought UNC's bench, you know, played really well, and the fresh legs were, you know, something that almost gave the Tar Heels the victory.
For sure played well that game. That's another guy to watch. But we shall see if UNC can generate its first winning streak here in this building since the 1990s. It should be interesting. For Laura Keeley, this has been Andrew Carter with the News and Observer. Thank you so much for watching.